Hi there. Welcome to this video where we'll explore how we can create a map visualization in Power BI. So as an example, I have data here of countries and continents, and you can see the bubbles show up based on my selection from the slicer. So all this data is now sitting in a data set, and I'm able to use it in my map visualization. Let's have a quick look at this as to how this is working. So based on what I select right now, I can see that the bubbles are showing up for the respective continent, right? So it's very easy to actually go and implement. Uh, and there are a whole bunch of settings also that you can go and configure in terms of the styling and things like that, which we will explore. Uh, but another aspect here is you have two different options when working with maps. You have the basic map option here. You also have the filled map. So you don't need to have any changes in your data. So you can switch between the map or the filled map with the same data set. So we'll just see that right now. So I'll just click my map data set and switch over to filled map. And there you go. It now switches to the filled map mode. Right, so now if I switch to another location here, let's say Africa, you can see the filled map now shows up for Africa as well. So this is very easy to do as long as your data is set up properly. So you can actually see that it's missing South Sudan. So probably in your data set, South Sudan is not included. So these are interesting ways by which you can work things out. So now we'll go through a series of steps as to how you can implement all of this and make it very easy for you to add it into your report. To get started, we have a blank map as well as a slicer that we have added onto this report page. So the first thing that you'll need to go and do is obviously to inspect the data. So we have a world geodata CSV file that we have imported into this report. So let's go into the data view and actually inspect this data. So we'll understand the most important two columns that must be there for the map to work in your visualization is the latitude and longitude. So that means the coordinates should be very clearly defined for your locations, right? So in this case, we have countries and continents. So in your case, it could be the branches for your particular stores or locations in different countries, of your particular organization. So you could look at it in that respect. So as long as you have the coordinates clearly defined as two separate columns, things should be good. The second thing that you need to ensure is, see, by default, maps will not work in Power BI. So there's a very small setting that you need to enable, just a checkbox that you need to go and enable. So we'll have a quick look at that. Under File, Options and Settings, Options, and then security, you will have a section here which says map and filled map visuals. So by default, this checkbox will not be ticked. So you need to ensure that this box is ticked here, right? So once that is done, you're ready to fill in your visualization. So I'll just click on my map here, and from my data set, that is world geodata, I just need to populate these fields. So the important fields that you'll need to populate is the latitude and longitude. Even without filling out the rest, things will work. But in our case, I'm just going to add the location as well, which is the country. So I'll just drag in to the location field here and the respective latitude and longitude. So let me just drag those fields here as well. Drag in the latitude and the longitude here. So as you can notice, they are numeric fields. So it shows up with the sigma symbol and you're good to go. So you're done with it. So you can see that the bubbles are showing up here. So let's also enable the slicer. So in the slicer, we will add the continent. So let me just go in and do that. Perfect. We are done. So now it's ready to use. So if I click in Africa here, you can see that all the countries are showing their respective bubbles here. So these are showing because you have the coordinates, the latitude and longitude defined. So in terms of formatting the visual, there are quite a lot of options that you can actually work with. So you can see, okay, I've not selected the map, have I? Okay, so let me just go and select the map settings. So by default, you get the road option here, and you can see that the labels have been turned on. So that's why you're seeing all the countries with the correct labels here. So you could just go and change it to a few other options. Arial is another option that I personally like. So depending on your needs, you could just go in and change the formatting, right? So it's actually very easy to implement as long as you have the data clearly set up. It's very easy to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments in the section below. So until I meet you in the next video, it's bye from me.